Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Think props. It's the Darkseid War, DC's Darkseid War. A little explanation is the superheroes went and they defeated Darkseid, and some of the superheroes gained these special abilities, like these abilities that separated out of Darkseid and went to multiple hosts instead of just one. In this instance is Barry was combined with the Black Racer, which was the Harbinger of Death. It was Darkseid's Harbinger, and Barry was combined with it. Just a side note, the Shazam became the God of Gods, but he lost his ability to communicate with his gods, so he had to go to this new pantheon, and it was some new gods and some old, and or I say old, but some of a different aspect of gods. Superman had this negative effect to him. Lex Luthor gained the Omega Beams and stuff like that. We decided to go with this Flash and this Shazam. I enjoyed that series. Don't get me wrong, I have this kind of morbid look at things, and I'm not trying to instill into my son negative, stuff, but this was, he did a Flash God of Death. His costume was black with all this like red line work that went around along with the Flash emblem. Well, in the comics, he carried a side just like this. I based this off of the comic image. Flip it on if we can.
It sort of works.
Yeah, it sort of does. I probably should have. I probably should have charged the battery on this, but this whole piece glows red. Now, this was a piece of plain acrylic that I cut out, some of it by hand, and that was a pain. And then I drilled out or channeled out this all across the bottom here. I purchased these LED lights, these red LED lights, and glued them right through here. Okay? And, well, actually, let me explain the handle too, because it all goes together. And then these LED lights went through this whole handle. Had a simple on and off switch here. The bottom actually has a cap on it, which has a battery in it, and I got it. Would I have? No. I was trying to think. I had some battery packs here to begin with. I reconfigured a battery pack, a rechargeable battery pack here, and did all this rewiring and whatnot. Okay. Now if I can get everything back in.
Take it out.
I probably should have taken it out. Oh, there we go. All right. This cap allowed this rechargeable battery to come out here that, we would recharge when the time was right, when the battery was dead. But I don't think we've ever recharged this battery.
No.
It's been 5-6 years, and it's
Never had that.
Yeah. Anyways, so we got all this wiring in here. We got all these LED lights in here. Why is that so important? I actually covered this with this this white spray, like a window frosting spray. What I was trying to do was, I'm trying to keep the light inside instead of escaping out. Everything was clear, so I sprayed it all out, and it gave me the effect that I wanted. Obviously, I had to do it heavy, but it was so bright that it looked like just like the comic. Yeah, there's some little nuances here, you know, but it looked just like what he needed in the comic. It took me a little bit to do that just because cutting an acrylic on cutting acrylic this thick on a bandsaw, it just didn't want to work. It would gum up the bandsaw just because it was going, you know, fast and whatnot. So, but anyways, that's that. Once again, it is just about 100% built by me. It was the few products I had purchased for this, but I'm still reworking a battery pack. And, you know, I had to do a lot of trimming and soldering of these lead strips. So it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It took me above and beyond my capabilities just because I was dealing with electronics and just trying to figure this whole thing out. So I know Cody had this for Halloween one year. I mean, he was 9?
I think I was a little older than that.
Okay. Carry around on Halloween. It's kind of a heavy prop to carry around on Halloween. We'll get into heavy props after, but you know, toward the end we're gonna have some heavy props. But he actually took this out for Halloween and whatnot. If anything, it kept people from, or it had people notice him. He's in a solid black costume, But anyways, that's the God of Death, Flash God of Death Scythe from the Dark Side War. Anything for you guys on that? No? Okay. All right. Let's talk about these hammers, okay? I'm just joking. It's actually fairly light. Even my daughter can hold it. Cody, or let's let Cody get the other one.
This one's the heavy one.
The meat tenderizer. All right. These harken back to our first costumes that we did. We went out in public. This was the Marvel Fear itself, Null, Hammer of Null, and Hammer of Angrier. I know that one's heavy, so if you want to put it down for now, we'll talk about the Hammer of Null. The Hammer of Null, they're both the same size and length. Cody was 8 or 9.
Something like that.
Yeah, and I didn't want him to carry around a really heavy product, so I looked around and I figured out what I wanted to do with this. The handles are made the same. Everything's made the same, minus the head. Okay, the handles are wooden dowels, large wooden dowels, 1.5-inch dowels, with just some fabric I had laying around. I coffee stained it just to give it a warm look. Let's see. This bottom here was, it was like hosing that I had that wouldn't plump up. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna pour some fiberglass resin in there with the catalyst, and it hardened right up, and it made a really good ring. Okay. Onto the head. believe it or not, this head is actually made from that foam core board that you see in like the craft section. It's just like a foam with 2 layers, top and bottom layer of like a poster board over the top of it. I know it's foam core in my company. So I was actually, it took me a little bit to figure this out, but as soon as I figured it out, it worked out really well. It's hollow. The whole thing's hollow. I glued a lot of these pieces down. I want to say there's some duct tape actually on this. This front piece here, I built up 2 or 3 layers of foam core board here just to bring out this piece here. According to the comics, once again, I try to stick as close to the comics as possible, or close to my source material as possible. It's all glued and so on. I knew that it wasn't gonna last, and I want my props to last. So what I did is I covered it with fiberglass cloth and resin. Covered the whole thing. It gave it that hard texture, and then I went over it with some Bondo just to smooth it out. The hammer in the comics wasn't really beaten too much, but now this one looks like it's been beaten. Actually, I like this look. You know, it gives it a worn, a used look. But it's probably about 5 pounds. Once again, Cody was a trooper. He carried it around his whole Halloween. It's when he was the Null. I want to say I got a screw at the top here that I screwed to the handle, and that's it. That's the only thing that's holding this together. It's there. So, all right, let's put this down. I know what that could get a little annoying and heavy.
Yep.
This one, once again, the handle, the ring, the cloth, all the same thing. All the same thing as the hammer and Null, minus the head. This head is actually pine boards put together, sandwiched together, glued together, and I've actually painstakingly cut this out. Had to figure out all the angles and whatnot to cut this whole thing right out. I'm like, oh hey, I'm an adult, I can carry this around. Oh yeah, okay, right. So I get it all together. Now, this thing is about 12 pounds, 15, 10 to 15 pounds, let's say. Actually, I want to say it's on the higher end, 15. And I'm sorry, I was just discussing the building. I smacked it around with a few tools and all that, just to give it a used look. Both hammers are painted with the Rust-Oleum hammered effect paint. I won't go to anything else for a metal look. It does give a very, very nice look to plastic, especially if you're trying to get a metal look. Plastic, go with that hammered effect. It's really awesome. And then I did some black dry brushing on it, just to give it some feel. When I was, the thing or angrier, the costume was excellent. I love that costume. And it took me a while to build it, and I loved every minute of it. I love all my costumes. This, along with my costume, made my night a little cumbersome. This hammer is nothing that you can hold with one hand for long periods of time. I actually had, it's not on here, but I actually had a cord wrapped around here, right toward the head, and it was wrapped around my wrist. And I was trying to hold it because my costume didn't allow me to much movement. I mean, think of Angrier, or I'm sorry, think of Thing. He has 4 fingers, but they're these sausage-like fingers. So I couldn't bend my fingers, so I had to have something. I soon, throughout the night, I ended up putting it over my shoulder and carrying it like that, just because I couldn't carry it with my arm down like this. It was so cumbersome. But I wouldn't give it, I wouldn't knock it. I enjoyed making these 2 things. One, it's one of my first props that I built publicly for this cosplay journey. And B, I just love building with my hands. Come on. So, okay, that is the hand. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to ask. You guys want to add to this at all?
This thing's a block of wood on a stick.
The Volkswagen on a stick. It's like one of those huge drivers, a golfer drivers on a stick. You?
Not really.
Okay. All right. They're kind of nervous. Kind of the first outing with this. Let's get into. We'll do some shields and we'll do some ongoing working props. I got 2 of them actually right in eyesight, so we can actually talk about those real quick. So next are our shields. Now, one shield was a rework. Another one was actually made from scratch. Now let me explain. This was Cody's Spider Cap shield. I wanted something that was a Captain America style shield. So I ordered this off of eBay. The actual Captain America shield off of eBay. It did have a lip to it, and I did cut off the lip. If you can turn it around to show the camera, there's really not much there. But the Captain America shield actually had a lip on the inside. So that was done with some foam. But let me talk about the front first. I saw this design online for this emblem. Fell in love with it. I repainted the shield. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have, but I did. Because it was a pain in the butt to get these fine lines. Because there is some ridges in here. I did lay out all my my tape or the masking by hand, cut out quite a few thinner strips and laid them out, and then painted it. I wanted all the paint to match. I didn't want to have a generic or the white from the toy shield with white that I might have here. So everything was all the Rust-Oleum spray paint. Couldn't tell you exactly what it was. It's been a few years. So, all right. Why don't we turn that around so we can discuss the inside. Now the inside was my crown achievement with this project. We'll start with, I have a metal piece in here that actually matches to the harness for the spider cap to clip on the back. I thought I had a strong enough magnet. I actually went down to Tractor Supply and I got their strongest magnet they had because Lowe's didn't have them and Home Depot didn't have them. And I was having trouble finding them on Amazon. But you trying to look at the camera? Okay. Why don't you hold it? Okay. Now looking at the actual Captain America shield, I actually converted a lot of the inner workings from the images, from the movie still images, and some from online. A lot of plastic was used in this. I actually made my own belts. This is not leather. Let me show them. That is not an actual leather. That is fabric. That's a faux leather. And I can't find that to save my life again. This exact product, because this is awesome stuff. It just, you want leather, this is leather, you know, without getting all the weight or the leather working and whatnot. A lot of the gerbils here, just more decoration wise. At one time, Cody actually had this up on his walls, and we were hanging them on these side hooks, and it was actually really good. This is actually not that heavy. It's actually a very light prop. I tried to go with light just because when we were doing this, I don't want a child running around with something heavy. Once again, you just heard me talk about the Hammer of Null. This is no different. I wanted him to have a light product. But I like making it. It was actually a very relaxing project for me, believe it or not. A lot of cutting with the Dremel tool, a lot of sanding, but you know, it pays off. With attention to detail, it really pays off. This interior was also, it was Rust-Oleum. It was before I went over to the hammered effect paint. It was just more of a aluminum satin paint. That's it, right? Aluminum.
Aluminum.
Aluminium.
And this could actually be adjusted to wear. So, okay, there's that shield. This next one is the Taskmaster shield. And when I said that this one was made from a toy or reworked, and this is straight off handmade, it's no joke. I actually Cody actually had a Captain America shield. He was really into the custom stuff that you would buy at the store. A lot of people gave him stuff like that for Christmas or for his birthday. And his Captain America shield was actually broken. He was looking to throw it away. So I took it and I covered it with plastic. And then on the plastic, I put Vaseline down, and then I started putting down layers of fiberglass resin, or fiberglass mixed with resin, over the whole top of it. So this is actually just fiberglass. There is no shield, because when the fiberglass was done, I took it off. Shield was gone, you know. But I ended up with this. So we trimmed around the edge. I tried to get as close as possible to the spider cap, but you know, it is what it is. A lot of this masking, painting and masking. Once again, this came from a concept image, so I had to actually figure out how to put that T on. But in the concept image, it was these bump outs here that I had to figure out what to do with them. You guys want to take a guess what those bump outs are?
Googly eyes.
Yes, exactly.
Probably googly eyes.
Googly eyes, 3/4 inch googly eyes. If you shake it, you can actually hear it. So, and when I painted it, we're missing one. I wanted to cover up obviously the eyes as much as possible, but you know, there's no taking away from that sound. So flip it over, or the inside. And if anybody ever wanted to challenge me on this, if you look at the inside here, just get it up here. You look at the insides here, it's actually wrinkles of the fiberglass. They actually took some of the wrinkles from the plastic wrap. So, built on the same way as the Spider Cap shield was. Little bits of my you know, my leather fabric here. I went a little different with these. I put a foam filler inside of it. Gives it a little bit more stability. The Spydercap did not have that in the straps. These do. It actually was pretty comfortable to actually hold. So once again, it's on the same lines. I use the same patterning, mostly the same excess parts. Once again, it's just that pay attention to detail. This one's a little bit heavier than that one, obviously, with the fiberglass and the resin, but it wasn't that bad. Cody did come in second place. I actually had some people saying that they liked what I did with the shield, or how I made this shield. They actually thought it was more of the Captain America shield, and it wasn't. And that with that Captain America shield, the toy shields, they have stars in the center, and I wanted to get rid of that. So if I was to sand this down, you would see so much Bondo. And Bondo is a cosplayer's friend. So, well, anyways, Cody, these were part of your costumes. Any inputs on this? Because I know that you wore this on a con floor for hours. Days.
Yeah, kind of was days.
You know, any information that you want to add to this at all?
If you do plan on making one of these, they are very comfortable. They really are.
What about the Spydercap? And any useful information on the Spydercap? Likes, dislikes?
It was good.
I wish that the magnet was stronger.
Yes.
Wearing it on the back, I wish the magnets were stronger. So, how about you? You got anything you want to say about these?
No.
Okay. Someday, you're going to see Alexis in the Spydercap costume. Someday. And she will probably be donning the shield. It's still Cody's, but it's, you know, she'll borrow it. So, all right, and that's it for the shields. And I have two props that I want. Okay. So, when I was putting together my Clone Trooper costume, I was like, I didn't like any of the props that are out there. The props out there were so expensive too. I actually got a blow mold of a DC-15, or I'm sorry, people are gonna hit me with this if I don't get it right. But and it just wasn't right. It was good enough to wear if I was going out doing an event, a personal event. I went out with a friend of mine. He was in Stormtrooper. I was in my Clone Trooper, and it was good to have that gun. But I decided, you know what? Someday I'm gonna build my own. Well, this is my start. I haven't worked on this in probably about 5 years, 6 years, maybe more. But the detail that I was going into with this, it's all wood except for I got a rubber piece here. I started filling in some areas. I wanted to get something really perfect, really close, and I was getting to that point with this. I have no intention of getting rid of it. I have every intention of finishing it someday, but I have no intention of getting rid of it. I actually love this prop. It hangs in my workshop, and it's something I see all the time. And I keep telling myself, I gotta finish it. I gotta finish it. I gotta finish it. I gotta finish it. But that is my Clone Trooper rifle. I do have the smaller blaster for my clone trooper, and when I get the smaller one, I kind of push this off to the side because of time and whatnot. And I already had a weapon for my clone trooper, so but that's it. I like this weapon. What do you think of it? It's,
I think Cody wants to play with it.
I know, Cody does want to play with it. He plays with a lot of stuff. This next prop is, it's a cane I was working with. I had this envision this sideshow carnival group and with a bunch of weird a group with some extra ordinary abilities or looks or so. Like I was doing one for Cody, I molded a cat face because I was trying to make him into a strongman mixed with a cat. Alexis, I was gonna do a bearded woman, but I'm taking the bearded a little step further. It was, once again, this gets in my morbid atmosphere where the bearded woman had a beard at one time, and kind of the backstory is it was somehow removed forcefully. So she didn't have the skin or the ability to grow down here. Still have the muscle tone, but then my whole thing is I was trying to get at the Hannibal Lecter Leatherface-esque mask. See people with a nice mustache and beard? She took it off of them and used it as a mask on her face. And then the ringleader was a undead, not necessarily a vampire, but just a undead person. And this was his cane that he was going to use. Welcome one and all to the Carnival of Sin. And the femur head, femur?
Yes.
I think so.
Femur head. It was a old pool stick because I could still take it apart. I was trying to make a cane out of it, and I was going to do some wrappings through here, but I wanted to have a Laura-esque, deal. I got this femur bone from a skeleton prop I had in my workshop, and the prop ended up, it sat too long at a weird angle and just went down back. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna take that off and I'm gonna use that as the head of my cane. So I'm not done with it yet, or I'm not gonna push it off. I'm still working on it. It's just a matter of, once again, just trying to find or carve out some time and money too. It costs a little bit to do all this stuff. So, well, that's two of the ones I got in the works. I wish I had all the pieces, and I could show you Cody's visor he had for the Cyclops. But I suppose when I talk about the cost, I'll get into that.
Yeah.
So, but that's it for that. And what that does is that brings us down to the end of this video of props. I hope I didn't bore you guys a lot. I hope that you enjoyed the time that we had with my kids and myself. I do appreciate you watching this. And oh yeah, I did say that I would be filming this weekend and come out with an announcement of another costume that I'm going to be working on. On the whole vein of quick costumes, I do have other costumes I'm working on for Cody and Alexis, and those are my really intense, really work, full work costumes. This new costume is going to be one of my quick ones that I'm going to be just doing, along with my Joker Arkham Asylum jumpsuit. I'm going to be rehashing my Eric Draven costume, the Crow costume. The one that I did when I was probably about 15, 16. You guys saw the pictures, and
I didn't, but she did.
yeah, you saw the pictures. YouTube when I was doing my introduction. There was a picture of my dad and I, and I decided that, you know what? Since I'm looking at this, I want to redo this costume, pay homage to one of my first runs at doing cosplay. So I'm not necessarily reworking it. I'm going to be building a brand new costume. So that is going to be within my other video about my inspiration and from start to finish on costume building, how I attack the costumes and do the work. So look for it. It's going to be the Crow. It's the Eric Draven Crow. I'm hoping that I can actually do a makeup video too, because I don't know. Have you seen the Crow? Pictures of the Crow? Okay. kind of gives you an idea of, I don't want to say like the Joker, but he has a white face and he has like these lines that go down and it comes out at the smile. It's actually a very, very cool setting. So look for my video from cosplay from start to end, and also look for my video of makeup work. I'm going to feature my Joker and the Eric Draven Crow on there. So, with that being said, I've taken a lot of your time out. We've actually hit upon a lot of stuff here. So, what I want to say is thank you so much on behalf of myself. And actually, I shouldn't even speak for my own kids. I should let them. But I do thank you for spending your time with me. And have yourself a very happy and joyous week or weekend or whatever, whenever you're watching this. You guys got something to say?
Thank you for watching.
Okay. Alright. So, a thank you from Alexis, from me, and everybody else. Have a great one. Thank you.